This is The Briefing with Steve Scully on POTUS, Sirius XM Channel 124, and anytime on the Sirius XM app.
He served as Missouri's Attorney General, 3 terms in the U.S. Senate, briefly our ambassador to the United Nations during the George W. Bush administration, and his piece at WSJ.com, the Wall Street Journal, with the headline, Republicans Ditch MAGA, Return to the Basics. Former Senator John Danforth. Senator, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
What is happening to your Republican Party? Has Donald Trump changed it forever?
I don't think forever, but he certainly has changed it. I mean, the MAGA version bears no resemblance to the Republican Party as it existed historically, and certainly in my time. I mean, has no relationship to the party of Ronald Reagan. It's a flip on all of that. It's a reversal of the basic Republican concept of limited government, particularly we're against the concentration of government in Washington. Now it's concentration of political power in the hands of one person that he's exercising at his whim. So we think that it's important to return the center of American politics and return the Republican Party as a center-right party, a responsible conservative party, which it is not today.
But here's part of the problem, and you have been chronicling this in many of your pieces over the last couple of years, because you have the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, which is dominating the GOP right now, and you have the progressive liberal wing of the Democratic Party that is driving the Democrats, and we have gerrymandering, because as you look at Congress today, there are a lot of factors in why the system is broken. Money is one of the factors, no doubt about that. Social media, partisan cable is another factor. But gerrymandering is a looming factor when it comes to how Congress works or doesn't work. Can you address that?
Yeah, I think that is true. I think that there are a number of factors. Gerrymandering is one of them. Social media is one of them. The regular the TV media, cable media, which is very polarizing. The fact that splitting Americans apart has become the business model of politicians and also of the media. So I think all of that combined, and also the demise of Congress, which is a very big deal. I mean, Congress was the place where different interests came together and worked out their differences and came up with some sort of resolution to problems. Congress really doesn't perform any remaining useful function in our government. I don't understand why we're paying these people. They're mainly going on vacation all the time. So, yeah, I think that there are a number of reasons for the problem, but what we're trying to do is to rekindle the ember of the traditional Republican Party, and doing that to try to restore the center of American politics, which is missing right now. The Democrats have gravitated to their far left, and there's very little difference between the big government version of the Republican Party, which is MAGA, and the big government version of the Democratic Party.
So how do we get back to the center if you say that center in our politics has, in your words, collapsed?
Well, I think the good news is that the center is where most Americans are. Most Americans do not see themselves as being on the fringes of politics. They believe in government that works. It's plainly not working now. And so I think that the goal is to appeal to that center. And I think that the Republican Party, as it traditionally has existed, does appeal to that center. And if we rekindle that and do it again, then we will be competing with the Democrats, who will have to be competing for the center, which they're not doing right now.
Do you think your friend, former President George W. Bush, should have a more public role in all of this? Because no doubt, as he saw what happened in the East Wing of the White House, and certainly what's happening in our country today, it must bother him, and yet he has been very, very quiet.
Yeah, I wish he would be outspoken. Yes, I do. I wish more Republicans who believe, as we have always believed, would be more outspoken. That's what we're trying to do with our organization called Our Republican Legacy. I understand the tradition of former presidents being reluctant to weigh in and criticize the existing president. But yeah, I mean, this is a very big deal. It's not only the Republican Party, it's American politics, which has become so broken now, so polarized, so angry right now. And George W. Bush was the opposite of that. I mean, he really was a person who could appeal to the average American.
The piece that is co-written by my guest, John Danforth, former U.S. Senator from Missouri, reads as follows: the GOP traditionally stood for rule of law, limited government, and unity. It should again. He is the founder of Our Republican Legacy. You know, Senator, we were talking about the national debt, and when you were in Congress in the early 1990s, for example, the debt was $3, $4, $5 trillion. It's now $38 trillion. It went from 37 to 38 trillion in just 2 months. When does Congress raise the alarm bell?
It certainly is not doing it now. I mean, our party, the Republican Party, used to be the party of fiscal responsibility. That is gone. During the first Trump administration, 4 years, the national debt went up almost 40%. Now, under the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, it's going up another $3 trillion over a decade. So Republicans have just given up. I mean, it's kind of what Hubert Humphrey called the politics of joy. It's really fun to run up a big debt and big deficit, but it's irresponsible. It's a terrible legacy. It does not make America great again. It does just the opposite. It's a legacy of weakness that we're bequeathing to the future, and that's what MAGA is right now. So we believe that it's time to return to fiscal responsibility.
Senator, here's the other problem. And look, when you were in Congress from the 1970s through the 1990s, you did work across the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, to try to forge some huge compromises. Today, as you know, to compromise is a bad word in politics. How did we get to this point?
I think that it's as I said, the business model of politicians now is to make people angry, to make them feel aggrieved, to present an America of us against them. For the Democrats, it's identity politics. It's very divisive, and they feel that it works politically, and it has worked politically. But I mean, I really think that the restoration of the role of Congress is important, because that is where compromises were made. And that's the design of Congress. That's how it was intended to function by the framers of the Constitution. But Congress is really like the appendix. It doesn't perform any remaining useful role right now other than to simply rubber stamp the president. So I think restoring Congress, restoring what was called the regular order, how a bill becomes a law, which is hammering out compromise, that is really important to our country.
But as you look at this politically, for example, you say standing up to the president, where does that put the Speaker of the House, for example, Mike Johnson, or the Senate Republican leader, John Thune, somebody who you know well? Because if they stand up to the president, they face the wrath of Donald Trump and the MAGA ecosystem, I should say.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that, and they're afraid of being primaried, and Trump has played that very well, frightening people. But really, I mean, this has got to be the future of the country that we're talking about, and the state of the country, not who can win a primary election. So it really is important for Republicans to stand up, and not just people in office now, although that's really essential, but for the average Republican, the man on the street, to speak out and stand up and to make it clear that the MAGA version of our party is not what the Republican Party is. It's possible to be a Reagan Republican. It's possible to be a Trump Republican, I guess, but it is not possible to be both at the same time. They're incompatible, and I think Republicans have to say so.
Senator Danforth, final question again, the founder of Our Republican Legacy. Who do you see on the horizon that mirrors your views, your ideology of what the GOP, in your words, should be all about?
I don't know. I think it's up for grabs right now. I think we're certainly looking for people to speak out. Our Republican Legacy intends to play some role in the coming congressional election, clearly in the presidential election, to stand for what the Republican Party has stood for historically. But I can't identify any particular individual right now. I hope they emerge.
How about you? Run for president.
Yeah, you'd have to go to the old folks' home to get me.
Hey, well, you sound terrific. Senator John Danforth, Republican from Missouri and founder of Our Republican Party. Really appreciate you being with us. And again, the piece is available at WSJ.com. Ditch MAGA, return to the basics. Thank you, sir.
Great, thanks a lot.
Well, speaking of 2028, Donald Trump is not